my hair, but I'm also going to be talking about my life with the Walters book. Okay, so I'm editing this video right now, and I noticed that I kept saying my life with the Walters. It's definitely my life with the Walter Boys. That's the title. My Life with the Walter Boys by Ali Novak. That's the title of the book. I kept calling it just My Life with the Walters. And then the next book is My Return to the Walter Boys. Just wanted to clarify that because I keep saying the wrong title. But yeah, that's what it is. I just finished it this morning. Well, this afternoon, Saturday afternoon. But I just finished it a little while ago. So I decided to sit here, and instead of just sitting down talking with you about it, I decided since I was going to sit here and straighten my hair anyway, I might as well just sit here and talk to you about it. Don't mind the fact that my nail is gone. It popped off and I just have no desire to even try to put it back on. So yeah. So this book was very interesting. I had heard of it before. I even had considered picking it up a few times at Walmart, but I just decided against it every time. I don't know why. It just seemed like I wasn't going to be super interested in the book. So I never did it. So I never bought it. But I was trying to find something to read yesterday because my car got a flat tire and I had to wait for roadside assistance to come and help me. So while I was waiting, I was like, I should read something. So I decided to go on the library app and I found that book. And I was like, you know what? Can you read what it's about again? So I read what it was about and I was like, you know what? I think I might enjoy this book. So what I can say first and foremost is that this book is about Jackie. She is from New York and her family dies in an accident and she ends up moving to a house with 11 boys. Actually there's 10 boys, but one of them is a little girl who doesn't act like a little girl. She mostly is more like a tomboy or whatever. So she can't really count on her to be much of an ally or something. So so she ends up having to move to this house because this person was friends with her mom, and she stepped up and said that she would take care of her after her whole family passes away in an accident. So that's how the book begins. And I was like, interesting concept for a book, but okay. This book is clean in the sense that there's no intimacy in the book. But this book is not clean in how they talk. It's not a cuss word every 2 seconds. There's not really hardly any cussing, but it's the way that they treat Jackie and the way that they talk about her when she gets there that's almost uncomfortable. Most of the house is boys, right? So they're putting a 16-year-old girl into a house with mostly 16-year-old guys. There's there's 3 that are really young, and there's one that's 12, I think, and then but the other ones are 17, 16. There's one who's way older, he's getting married and stuff. So I think it's you can draw your own conclusions about how they kind of treat her, but it seemed almost too much to me. They really were just I don't know what the term is. I don't know if it's crude or crass. I'll put it on the screen, whatever I'm trying to say, because I'm not sure which one it is, but I think those are the words I'm trying to think of, because it was just very inappropriate. A lot of the things that they said to her, even when she first got there, was just so weird. They never stopped saying stuff about how they wanted her, first one of the One of the like really uncomfortable examples was in part of the book. They open the door, they pick open the lock when she's taking a shower, and they steal her towel and they steal her clothes. And she's like, where's all my clothes, where's my towel, blah blah blah. And they're like, oh, I bet my brother $10 that you would rather stay in there and miss school than to come out here with no towel. And she was like trying to scream for help. She finally wraps the curtain hanger no, the shower curtain. She finally wraps the shower curtain around her to get out of the shower. To get out of the bathroom. And I just thought that was so weird. And then like every time like the boys would be like not have a shirt on or something, like of course she's gonna notice, because like apparently all of the boys there were like really good looking, and so like of course she would notice and it would make her uncomfortable. Like she would stare because she's a 16-year-old girl, you know. But like they'd be like, oh yeah, I know you're looking at me because I look so good, like, you know, stuff like that. And it was just like so weird. And then like there's even a point where they like push her into the pool. Like they made it a point that like she had a white shirt on, and we're like, oh, I'm just upset that like somebody gave her a towel because they wanted to see her, like see through her shirt or whatever. And it was just like, what? Like it was just too much at some point. There was even like a point where hiding in the closet, she's like playing hide and seek with the younger kids, and her and one of the younger boys are in the closet. But he's like a little kid. And then she pulls in the guy that she has like the love triangle with, one of the guys she has the love triangle with, and he's like, oh, like, did you change your mind about this person? Now you want to be with me, you're gonna confess your love for me, and then we're gonna go ahead and have. And like they made it to where like when she pulled him in, he like was wearing a towel, stuff like that. It was just like, what? Like, why are we doing that? Like, it made it almost uncomfortable to read at some points, because it was just like, this is doing way too much. Like, why is it like they're constantly like, she can't just have like a normal conversation most of the time, because like these guys are always sending some kind of like inappropriate comments her way, and they like do a bunch of different stuff to like, one guy like just sits there in her room while she's in her towel because she forgot her clothes when she went to go take a shower. And so he's just standing there like wanting her to change in front of him and stuff like that. And it was just like, who acts like that? Like I don't know. I mean, I guess like, I don't know. Like I'm not saying that like the guys when I was growing up weren't like perverted sometimes, but like to that extent, like that's crazy. Like to just be so upfront about it. Like maybe like if they were like saying stuff behind her back or something, like making dumb comments about that, I'd be like, oh yeah, that sounds like a typical guy. But not like to her face. I don't know, it just seemed like overkill sometimes, how they were like really over sexualizing her a lot. And that part I was not super comfortable with, just because they were throwing so many comments like that at her. Like every other comment was about them wanting to like see her naked or see her this way or this or that or whatever. And it was just like, you're doing too much. It would be one thing if it was like real life, you know, but when I'm sitting there reading that, I'm like, okay, I feel like this is too much, and this is some like woman who sat here in her room dreaming this up, writing this stuff out about teenagers. like, it was a little uncomfortable. It was a little uncomfortable, and I was just like, but I tried to push that part out of my head. Like, I tried to just push that to the side because I was enjoying the actual relationship that was blooming between the two. Although, okay, so the whole love plot is between Jackie and Cole, which you find out very early on in the book. And then it becomes a triangle, which I didn't expect. I did not expect that to happen, but I thought it was interesting. That was an interesting little plot twist. What I'll say about Jackie and Cole's relationship is that I thought that it was a little overkill, I guess, in some ways, in the way that he was like pursuing her, but like not really pursuing her. Like, he would just throw like these comments at her that would like make her flustered, of course, because he was like a little bit older than her, not by a lot, just like 2 years. And he was like this cocky like popular kid who everybody wanted to be with. Everybody wants to be him or be with him, and it was one of those things. But like, she really did like him, but she didn't want to like let on because she didn't want to give him the satisfaction, basically. And he was like not used to that. He was used to girls just being crazy over him and like just giving into everything that he wanted to do. So that was weird for him, right? But like, the way that he was going about everything was just like toxic, and I don't know. It was toxic, yet I still was like rooting for them, because I didn't like I didn't like the other half of the triangle, which was why I think I was rooting for her to be with Cole. Like, he also was not making things comfortable for her. Like, he wasn't being sweet, he was being cocky. And there was like moments where he would be sweet, but she had so much like trauma and stuff that she was dealing with, especially with like just having lost her family and stuff. Like, that's the thing, is that all the guys knew, like everybody in the house knew what she'd gone through, and they were still treating her like that. It was like kind of weird, like that they didn't have any kind of compassion for her. But again, like, I guess they're supposed to be teenagers, so like they're not gonna be super overly compassionate for someone. They're just gonna be kind of selfish. But like, Cole in his way really seemed like he cares about Jackie a lot. He just doesn't always go about it in the right way. And then one of the things I didn't like was that like every time he would get mad at her, all of a sudden he would be like really mean to her, and he would do something that was like really messed up, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that he would go from one extreme to the other just because he was mad at her. And they say at like the end of the book, they say in like toward the ending of the book that like he wasn't doing anything to like really hurt her. He was doing it to hurt the other person in the triangle. And so I get that, but at the same time, like, it just came off very toxic, and I didn't like that. I will say I am not happy with the ending of the book. It ends very open-ended, and I don't like that. I need some kind of resolve. I need to know that like things are gonna be okay. I need to know like what's gonna happen in the future. And apparently there is a second book that I'm going to read. It's called Return to the Walters, and Return to Living with the Walters, or Return to the Walters, or something like that. It's on Amazon. It came out this month, apparently. No, came out last month in April. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, so I read this book at the perfect time, because if I would have read it any earlier and I wouldn't have known about the second, and I wouldn't have like been able to get the second book, I would have been going nuts, because I'm already like kind of going crazy with the ending. But then I was reading the description for the next book and I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna be frustrated. I really feel like I'm gonna be frustrated, because for the next book, I guess this is kind of a spoiler, so if you don't want to know, I guess skip this part. But like for the next book, there was kind of like a resolve, right? And there was definitely like an open-ended, there could be a relationship going on from here on out. But apparently we forget all about that and we say, oh, we didn't really talk very much after this huge revelation happened. And now I'm trying to avoid him because I don't know what to do. And like, Jackie is like, she's not like a super annoying female character, but she's also not like my favorite female character ever. Like, she has her annoying moments where I'm really like, girl, just stop it. Like, you're being so annoying. But like, I don't know. As at the same time, like, I understood where she was coming from and everything that she was like saying and like what she would do and stuff like that. Like, I understood where she was coming from, but like at the same time I was like, you're doing too much. Like, you're really doing too much. And because it's very much like she doesn't want to admit her feelings for this person, but like she obviously, like, everyone knows that it's like super obvious that she really likes this person, but she won't admit it. Kylie gets like a breakthrough moment where like all the truth comes out and she has to basically decide what she's going to do with that. And then she ends up deciding to leave, but she tells everybody her true feelings. They have this whole open-ended moment. They know all the feelings are out on the table, but she's leaving. So now it's like everybody's gonna stew in what happened over the summer, and then she's gonna come back home. So things apparently will have changed. It seems like she changes her mind when she goes back because she's avoiding him for some reason. And I don't know if they're gonna make it like, I don't know what she's gonna do with this book, but I have a feeling I'm not gonna like it. I have a feeling I'm not gonna like the ending of the second book because I didn't like the ending of the first book. I was literally reading the last chapter, but I didn't know it was the last chapter. So I was reading it expecting to see something else happen, and there was nothing. And I was like, huh? Like, oh, wait, what? and then I was like, no, something has to have happened. Like, what's going on? And then I look to see, I was like, Living with the Walters book 2. Like, I had to see if there was another book, and then I saw that there was, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to read the second book, because I was like, I need some kind of resolve. But then I read spoilers and I saw that it's an open-ended ending again, so nothing's like super defined, and I was like, you know what, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if my heart can do this, because it was a lot. It was a lot. Like, I can't do open-ended endings. Like, okay, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of The Summer I Turned Pretty. It was very much giving The Summer I Turned Pretty. And I kind of loved that, right? Because I loved The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. I loved it. And a lot of people didn't like the last book because they didn't like the ending, because they felt like, spoiler alert if you've never read that book, Conrad and Belly get married in the very end, like several years later, but they get married. And I was like, yes, like, yes, little hearts. Like, I love it, because I love that there was a resolve. There was like a whole ending, like they got married. That was the whole thing, you know, so it was great. And so I love that, but I don't think I can handle when it's like, let your imagination finish the book. No, I need to know what happened to you created these characters, not me. I need to know what happened. And I am a little nervous to watch the Netflix series, because I heard that it's a Netflix series. I'm a little nervous to watch it because I'll be honest, you guys, I did not enjoy the Summer I Turned Pretty series, like the TV series. I did not enjoy it. I thought it was stupid. But I will say that through the TV series, I ended up liking Conrad a lot more. I felt like it put some things together for me that I wasn't seeing about him, and I don't want like my view of these other characters ruined because of the dumb TV series, because they always change the book, right? They always do something a little bit too extra. They always do something that's like, why did we have to do that? You know, because before I watched the TV series, I was like, oh, I want her to be with, I can't remember his name, Conrad's brother. I can't remember his name, but I wanted Belly to be with him instead, because I was like, oh, he's so sweet, and he's liked her for all this time. Like, he's actually treating her good, where Conrad is always pushing her away. And so I was like, I'm definitely on his team. But then I watched this series, and I was like, actually, I really like Conrad. And I didn't really like the brother in the series. To me, him liking Belly in this series didn't come off as genuine. It came off as like he likes everybody, and he's just a flirt, so like of course he likes Belly. And Conrad came off as like, I've always really liked Belly, and like that's how it is in the book too, minus the fact that like the brother, I can't remember his name, he does not come off as like this big like flirt in the book. He just comes off as like really liking Belly, and but he does end up cheating on her later on, which was sad. But you know, I just thought that was interesting. Yeah, I just thought it was really interesting. So I don't know if I'm gonna watch the series. Part of me wants to watch it, but part of me doesn't, because there was so many cringy parts of that book. Like, there was so many parts that I was like, girl, I'm cringing. Like, I don't think I could do that. Like, the idea of living, like, me as a 16-year-old living with a bunch of other 16-year-old boys, like, it just made me cringe. Like, that does not sound fun at all. But like, and then it was like weird, right? Because like the little kids and like everybody would like cuss just very like openly, and I thought that was a little weird. Also, like the parents were like involved but like not involved. Like, she starts dating one of the kids, like she starts dating somebody, but like he lives there, and like she has this whole thing with Cole, and he lives there. It's like, so you're just letting your kids like date Jackie even though she's like a foot away from them? Like, and then like Cole was always having like girls over and was like sleeping with them while like his parents are like in the next room, and I was like, what? Like, what are we doing? Like, it was just so weird. I don't know, there was like a lot of weird aspects to the book that I like definitely did not enjoy, but then there's a lot of like really interesting aspects to the book that I really did enjoy, you know. So I'm not sure exactly how I feel. I feel like I'm gonna have to read the second book and really decide, like, do I like this book or do I not like this book? I feel like for right now, especially because I didn't like the ending, I didn't okay, I'm gonna give a spoiler because I have to talk about it. At the very end of the book, Cole and Jackie finally have their cute kiss. They finally kiss, but it's when he chases after her when she's leaving for New York, and he's like, she's like, I thought you weren't gonna say goodbye, and he's like, I couldn't say goodbye to you. I don't want to say goodbye to you. And she's like, it's just for the summer, I'll be back. And he's like, it just seems like the timing was never right. you know, I'm sorry things didn't work out between us. And so I was like, wait, so he's giving up? Like, I was a little confused. But then she's like, no, like, maybe when I get back, you know, it will be the right time. And he's like, okay. But he's like crying at the same time. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't know how to feel about that. And then she starts walking away because they're gonna miss their plane. And he's like, goodbye, Jackie. And she's like, I'll see you in summer. I'll see you after summer. And he just like nods his head, and then that's how it ends. I was like, are you joking right now? That's how you ended the book? That's how we're ending this book. Really? I was so upset. I was so upset. I was like, no, I need like I'm coming with you. I'm not going to New York. I'm gonna stay here. Not a goodbye. Like, he's already saying his goodbyes. He's like, it seems like he's like, okay, this is not gonna happen anymore. I lost my chance. But like, at least I got to kiss you. And she's like, I'll be back. And maybe it'll be the right time. And it's like, maybe. And then I go to read the description for the next book, and it says that they were texting, but then she stopped texting him. And then when she gets home, she's avoiding him because she doesn't want to see him. And I'm like, why don't you want to see him? What happened? I have to read the next book. I have to read the next book. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this book is taking me in like a whirlwind of emotions. So like, that's what I'll say. The beginning of the book is a lot. It's a lot. Like, they are very heavily expressing that they think Jackie is attractive. And it's a little uncomfortable, especially when you consider their age. But if you push past that, reading the character development of like the love story between the two, like, it's so good, but like toxic at the same time. So like, you kind of don't want to root for it, but you kind of do. I don't know. My feelings are so tossed on this book. I feel like once I finish the second book, I'll probably have like a better understanding of like how I feel, especially when I sit with what I just read for a while. I feel like I'll have a better understanding of like how I feel. But like right now, I'm very confused. I'm really confused. Like, I'm not sure how I'm like totally feeling about the book, but like, I think I would give it like a 3.5. And I only say a 3.5 because although I definitely enjoyed reading this book, there was so many elements of it that I like did not really like. And then I didn't like the ending. I don't like the open-ended endings. I don't like that. So I have to go with 3.5. Yeah, that's my review. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Something a little bit different, straightening my hair while I talk to you guys. But yeah, so comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.